a little discussion on the tariffs, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I still don't fully understand the whole grand plan. So I'll lay out the way that I see it, and you tell me how I'm dumb or how I'm exactly on point, and then we're going to watch this guy's video. My understanding is that other countries are tariffing us, and that is putting extra money in the pockets of other countries, and then we haven't been tariffing them in a reciprocal manner, which has allowed the prices in other either the prices of manufacturing in other places and or the prices of foreign goods to be lower than the price of American goods. So that's my understanding of where we're at so far. Then my understanding of adding the reciprocal tariffs is then to increase the prices temporarily so that American goods and manufacturing become competitive, and then the prices of everything come down. That's how I understand it. That makes sense to me, but I could be very wrong about that. So as we watch this, you guys let me know. So yeah, so I think I'm on point pretty much, right? So let's see what this guy is saying.
Well, so by now you probably heard everything under the sun on what these tariffs.
It's a little quiet, but
tariffs are doing to the stock market. But when Trump was asked today point blank about the stock market, he shrugged and smiled and said, "It's working." Now, if you know, you know. Allow me to break this down. Revenues from the S&P 500 are 41% foreign-based. That's huge.
So most of the S&P is foreign-based, okay.
So when you're looking at multinational companies that are going to be hit with this tariff, they're scrambling. Let's just take Nike, for example, because they're a huge multinational company.
And that's actually good because I have another video regarding Nike coming up. So, okay, looking at Nike.
Nike stock is not doing well. Now, the only thing that the shareholders and the CEO of Nike are concerned about is obviously their stock. Now, if Nike was to stay competitive in the U.S. market with these tariffs, do you really think they're going to increase their prices 25% to the consumer?
No. So that's the one thing that already, like, again, if we use Nike, I just saw an infographic about, I think it was Kyle Kalinske, who shared, like, how much would an iPhone cost if it was only manufactured in America? Which, again, I don't think anybody is claiming is the goal, to have everything in the world manufactured only in America. I haven't heard that be the goal, but yeah, I could be wrong. So no, obviously, if iPhones were only made in America, they would be, I think the number was like $30,000 or something. Clearly, that's not reasonable. Nobody could spend $30,000. Nobody, I mean, obviously, a few people here and there, rich people would, but your average consumer is not going to be able to spend $30,000 on a phone. So even if we brought all the manufacturing here, then it would be untenable for Apple to sell the phones at that price. So even if there was a price hike in the equation, it wouldn't all be passed down on the consumer, because then Apple would cease to exist as a company. And similarly with Nike, if we have their cheapest shoes being $600, then nobody's going to buy their shoes. It doesn't really matter what the tariffs are or aren't, because nobody's going to buy the product. Dixon said, I watched a video about how there'll be a 20% correction in the market, forcing the Fed to lower interest rates. It should reduce the cost of money borrowed and essentially allow us to refinance our debt. And that's the 20% correction. I hadn't necessarily heard these numbers, but the idea that, the stock market is down now, and again, I have a different video for that. Maybe I'll skip around and do that one next. But it seemed like that was always part of the plan. The short-term pain for long-term gain. Is that not what we've been hearing? Well, shout out to New Balance. Zippy said most of the corporations have had huge profits they can take from their high profits or leave the market. And that, again, that seems to be the most reasonable thing. Now, am I saying that because Nike wants to sell shoes that they're not going to raise the prices at all? No, I'm not saying that. But I also, I'm just saying it makes sense that they wouldn't be able to sell shoes for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times the price that they are now.
prices 25% to the consumer?
No.
That would be asinine. Why? Well, if they increase their prices to 25% to the consumer, people won't be buying Nikes nearly as much as they did. And if they don't buy Nikes as much as they did with their stock value plummeting, they're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
So what will Nike do?
It's almost
First of all,
it's almost condescending the way this guy's talking, but I need it on that level. I need it explained on that level. Your mom said, obviously people will just wear their own their worn shoes for far longer. Well, hey, planned obsolescence. That's one way to fight against it, right? Super expensive shoes. Ty said basketball fans will keep Nike afloat at their own peril. I think it's ridiculous. The price people pay for sneakers and they don't even play basketball. It's a status symbol. It's a status symbol. I mean, I don't get it either. There's, the sneakerheads, never been that guy. I remember in high school, it was cool to have Pumas with the camo shorts if you're in the hardcore scene. But other than that, it just, I never got it. Never got it. I agree, but I need it. Sometimes just talk to me like I'm 6. Talk to me like I'm 6. This is one thing I don't want to be wrong about.
First of all, they're not going to pass on all of the tariffs to the consumer.
Again, all. So we're all acknowledging that, yes, there's going to be something passed on to the consumer. Yet, people still voted for this. People are, as this is happening, people are still in favor of it. And based on what I explained before, it seems like that was part of the plan. And the jumping down the throat, like, oh, see, the stock market crashed, all that stuff is more political theater. All day you dream about sex?
They will absorb a lot of these tariffs. Second, they can't avoid these tariffs.
Okay, so we'll come back to that. So they can't avoid the tariffs. Godfrey said the U.S. doesn't even have access to all the needed ores, minerals, and rare earths to actually produce an iPhone. Therefore, the whole argument of producing an iPhone in the U.S. is argumentative. Right. And even to give credit to the person who made the infographic, I do think it was meant to not be like, look, this is what's going to happen with iPhone. I think it was more of a conceptual thing, which I agree with you, doesn't, make as much sense as they would hope. But the concept, I think they were trying to say, is that we all benefit from slave labor around the world, which is like, I guess, is that the hill that you want to die on? Hey, there you go. Ty knows what's good. All right, second point.
They can't avoid these tariffs. They have no choice but to bring that manufacturing back to the United States.
Sounds good to me.
Now, where's the evidence of this? Well,
evidence.
Ford is already doing this. So is Toyota. Ford is offering employee pricing to every car. Employee pricing is like 10 to 20% cheaper than the invoice pricing. Toyota right now is doing a massive social media campaign to let the consumer know which cars in their brand are made in the United States so they can sell more cars.
Okay.
You see, when you think like a corporation, you understand what's going on. Right now, a lot of this fear is coming from the countries to where these corporations have homes. These countries do not want these companies to move. The only way to hurt a mega corporation is to hit them in the pocket. Now, to the bleeding heart liberal, this should be good news because this is the best way to stick it to the corporation.
Again, all of that's all in line with what I was thinking so far.
Back to Nike. If you're Nike and you're getting hit with 25% tariff, and you still need to be competitive in the US market, the last thing you will do is raise your prices on these Air Jordans or any type of sneaker. If you did so, your stock would plummet even more. This was the only way to get the manufacturing back into the United States, and it's already happening. You see, the smart companies have already jumped ship and came to the US. Microsoft, Apple, Toyota, Honda, just to name a few.
Those have all moved within the last few months because of the tariffs. Again, I just want to make sure I'm not here trying to tell you guys I know what's good. I'm here pleading to you guys, hey, I don't know what's good. I want to make sure we can all figure this out together. Inside of the Ages said it's a Chinese finger trap. When the stock market goes down, this is a key indicator that the value of the dollar is going up. Tax the rich is worse than tank the market. That's where our dollar's value went. Interesting. The Chinese finger trap is saying.
Toyota, Honda, just to name a few. Hyundai, in my opinion, was the smartest of them all. During the first Trump term, when he was talking about tariffs, Hyundai already invested into a plant and it just opened. You see, the only way to get these corporations back into the United States is to punch them in the gut. And this is exactly what's happening with the stock market. The stock market is reflecting the punch to the gut to every single mega corporation that is operating in foreign lands but are registered in the United States. These companies have no choice but to come back to the United States. Otherwise, they will price themselves out of the market.
And that's really so. Like it seems like I'm in line with what is going on, but I'm being gaslit by liberals and the media to think, oh no, this is bad. I just gotta trust myself.